Hi, okay, the next design I've had a few requests for is a Spirograph Rainbow. I start with a white tea. And this one here has been soaked in soda ash. I spun it out and then hung it to dry. So this is a bone dry tea. And what I'm going to do is twist it. Now if you have a hard time twisting a dry t-shirt, you can twist it slightly damp, but then I recommend you letting it sit and dry before you actually put the dye on. So what I'm going to do is twist this up. Yeah, much easier to do a spiral on a slightly damp tea. Okay, so now some of these folds I'm going to tuck them down the end, just trying to straighten out, because when I put my dyes on, I'm just going to be basically applying it to the tops of all of these creases here. Let's zoom in just a little bit now that I got it folded. So I'm trying to straighten out the folds on the back side just a little bit. So any of them that are kind of folded over on themselves, I'm tucking those down inside, which just gives me access to more of the folds. But like I say, on this other side, nice and flat there, so that'll work out nicely. So what I do is I use, let's zoom back out, I use my thickened black dye, and I don't have a video up yet, but since I am getting low, I'm going to go ahead and mix up a batch of this, so by the time you guys are able to watch this video, I should already have a video on how to mix up this super thick black dye. So what I do is I squirt a little bit of that in a pan, and I use a brush, and I'm just going to lightly go over this here one time. I'm not going to go out to the outer edges. I'm going to do just the main part of the spiral in here. And you want to just lightly paint on, and I'm using the super thick dye so that it doesn't penetrate very far. So it's just going to dye a thin area on the edges here that are sticking up. Okay, now we're back to our Spirograph tea. I've let this sit for a day, so all of this black dye is dry. So what I'm going to do is snip these off of here. We're going to open this up. And there's some of the lines on the tea, of course on both sides. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it up, and this time I'm going to go in the opposite direction. So last time I know that I had the t-shirt face down so that I could get a better design on the front. So this time, since I'm not a counterclockwise twister, I can't get a good twist that way. I just flip the tea over. And by flipping it over, I can now twist it the same way I twisted before, clockwise, but I'm going to get a reverse twist on it. And then we're going to do the same thing after I twist it. So that's what I'm going to do. I have my thick black dye because I just made some more of this and I had some left over, so it's not in the bottle. So we'll just pour it in a little pan there. Anytime that I'm going to touch a brush to my dye and over to something that has soda ash on it, I always make sure that I pour it into something else. I don't want to dip my brush directly in there once this brush has touched this shirt with the soda ash, because even just the tiniest little bit of soda ash in your dye is going to make it not usable much quicker. So always, if you're going to dip a brush in, make sure you have a separate container for that. That way you get no contamination. So once again, I'm using the thick black dye, and I'm just painting a light coat on these tops of the edges here. So that's it for the Spirograph for now. Like I said, I'm going to let this sit and dry, and then we'll come back to it. Thank you for watching. Okay, now I have washed the t-shirt and soaked it in soda ash again and spun it out so that it's just slightly damp. So I have my black lines that are going two different directions because I twisted it one way and then I opened it up and I twisted it the other way and I put black dye on. So now it's time for the rainbow. So I'm going to go ahead and twist it up right from the center again, right where I had twisted that before. Okay, there you have it. I'll go ahead and dye the other side the exact same way, and then I'll post this video after I get this thing washed and opened up here. Thank you for watching. Please give my videos a thumbs up if you're liking them, and feel free to share them anywhere you like. Okay, here are the results for the Rainbow Spirograph.